right, can I please have a show of hands of anyone here who has waited for longer than an hour to see a doctor? Yeah, so quite a few of you. And when you think about it, it's odd that we expect this, because imagine if you were waiting over an hour to see a lawyer. And when I say this, I'm not talking about lane need, because they're very reasonably priced and time efficient. But seriously, I want to tell you a story. I was working a few years ago at the after-hours surgery in Colombo Street, and I saw a woman who'd been waiting for 3 hours to see a doctor. And I thought, this is crazy. So I started a business called SwiftMed, which is the first of its kind in New Zealand. It's a nationwide online doctor and prescription service. And I became very interested in this idea. Actually, if I'm completely honest, I became obsessed by it, that it should be easier for people to see a doctor when they need to for simple problems, and that you shouldn't have to wait. And looking back over my achievements, particularly over the last year, I realised that on a personal level, I had to do a lot of groundwork to be ready to take on the challenge of starting my own company. And I really thought hard when I was writing the speech about the things that pushed me forward and the things that held me back. And I think that everybody here tonight will identify with these traits and feel the same as I do. So firstly, I had to overcome my agreeableness, aka the disease to please. My intention is for people to think that I'm such a great person and that I'll say yes to anything that you can ask me. And a classic example for me is when a friend asks me to go to an event, and I don't really want to go, but I can't say no, so I end up procrastinating and putting it off, and then the event rolls around and I go and I resent it, and I think, why? What is crazy about it is that you put yourself through so much angst when the other person isn't even thinking about you. They don't want you to be there if you don't want to be there. So over time, I've learned that I am the master of my own fate, that for every decision, I decide where I put my time, my energy, and my resources, my soul. Secondly, something that has helped me along my journey has been my need to prove people wrong. And when I think back, I've had this trait for a long time. When I was 15, I wanted to get 6 A's in school cert, which is your main, when you're 15, the main exams that you do in high school. And I talked to my form teacher about it, and he said that based on my previous year's results, it wasn't going to happen, that I needed to aim for something more realistic. Well, that infuriated me, and I decided I put a poster up on my wall in my bedroom, and every day I looked at it, and I studied every day until the exams came. And in the end, I got 5 A's and a 79 in English, which wasn't exactly proving him wrong, but it was close enough, and man, it felt good. So since starting SwiftMed, I've had many people, such as other doctors, business advisors, colleagues, lawyers, tell me that what I'm doing can't be done, that there is no market for this and no one will support you. But there is nothing more satisfying than proving people wrong. And lastly, something I learned the hard way that has been one of the best things for me was to take the leap of faith. Launching SwiftMed was one of the hardest and scariest things I've ever done in my life. But it's funny, when you back yourself completely, when you believe in something so strongly, it's like the world decides to help you. Things start to go up, you meet people, doors open, and things start to happen that you never thought was even possible. Life spirals up. So my lesson from that is to trust yourself and to take the plunge. You won't regret it. Thank you.